The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Hello and welcome to Joy with Julie, a podcast where we share living life positively, having joy, optimism, and your best self. I want to welcome Joanne Young. Hi, Joanne.
Hi, Julie.
So glad you're here.
Thanks for having me.
So I don't know about you, but just adjusting to new routines, right? With fall and everybody getting back into school routines. So I know that you have your son that recently graduated, just like my firstborn did. And then my youngest is still in school. So I have Jace, who is training to be an electrician, and he's going to school at night. He just started last night.
That's great.
Yeah, and then I have Anthony, who switched schools, so he's going to private school, and we're doing this hefty commute. But I've been thinking about all the people that have kids that have just launched, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, your boy and my oldest boy, they're launching. They're doing their thing.
Yeah.
And that transition, right? So your Jason went to college, and I can't even imagine what all those things are yet because I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
But I do know that a lot of my friends it's funny, like I would say like 60% were like feeling all the feels. And then I had like 40% of them that launched their first kiddo off to college where they were like, hallelujah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Like they were ready for that kiddo to move out.
Yeah.
Where are you on
That's
that?
so funny. I am very much sad and feel empty without him for sure. And I think that to me, that's a shocking reaction because I feel like I was very busy throughout his life. It's not like my husband was always around with him too. So it's not like every minute I was, worried about him or anything, but it's just an energy now that it just feels like empty and just kind of hard to explain. I'm happy. He's doing great. He loves it, but it's like, he's not coming back to need anything. I know he will when he comes back.
Does it feel like when you brought him, did it feel like a piece of your heart was being left there when you...
For real.
It's over there. And...
Truly. Still does feel that way. It's only been 2 weeks, so it still feels. And he wants to establish his independence. So it's like, I don't call him as much as I'd like to. I try not to text as much. Try to take a little bit of a step back, but it's really hard. It's sort of like I'll do 2 days this weekend. I was able to not text him, and then yesterday I broke down and I'm like, hi, and I called him. So,
but don't you feel like nobody prepared you for I guess the teenage years, they do start to be more independent, right? They get their license, they drive, they leave the house, they're doing their thing with their friends, right? But still, for them to be out of your house and just living their own best life, right?
That's it. Totally.
And I'm sure you worry, right? Like you just want the best for him. So you're like, is it all good, right?
Yeah.
Totally. And I know some kids check in a lot and some kids just need to maybe cut it off for a little while and then figure out their schedule of checking in. Yeah.
I think that's what we need to figure out too. I know my husband's been texting him a lot too, but they have a lot of things that they talk about other than school stuff. So it's about MMA and boxing and all the things that went on over the weekend. So
their interests that are aligned. Yeah.
So they're still texting all about that. And I said to him before he left, would it be okay if I text you every day? And he said, yes. And so I do try to but I just tried to take a little break over the weekend, but we'll see where it ends up. And he said too, we wouldn't mind if we came up every couple weeks. He's only 2 hours away. So just take him to lunch or dinner, on a Sunday.
Okay.
So we'll probably go up again, maybe this Sunday and it's just like a 2-hour check-in and it's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to all the parents out there missing their kiddos, if they launched and they're at college, we're just sending to you some love and knowing we just have to go through it, right? We have to figure it out and navigate our new routines. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think too, I don't know if you feel this way, but when we were launched and when we were younger, it was like a whole different idea and a whole different deal. We're laughing with my friends. I have a lot of the same friends from high school, how sometimes the parents didn't even drive. Some of my friends, the parents were like, okay, bye. And one of my friends, he said his mom in 4 years stopped at the school once because she had a conference near the school. He went to UMass too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now it's like, we're all like, what do they need? These checklists, every single thing is covered. We're on top of it. Where are they? All of that. It's very
Listen,
different.
I heard on the radio the other day that people were paying $20,000 to have their kids' dorms decorated by an interior designer.
Yep. I saw that too.
I was like, what?
Totally. Yeah.
And it wasn't just people in Hollywood. Like, I was like, what?
Some of those Southern schools are so serious with all of that,
Wow.
I don't think UMass is, but
yeah, right. That is nuts.
Yeah.
So the change in our household is that after 9 grades, my son is in 10th grade now, he's going to a private school. So he's always gone to public school. My other kiddo went to public school. I was a public school teacher for 25 years. So now this kiddo needed a change. And it's so interesting to see the change from last year and how hard it was for him in a big school to go to this tiny private school, and realizing, wow, sometimes one thing that you can do, like, you have to follow your heart as a mother, but when you make that change, I guess I never thought like we could afford private school. And so he just loves it. There's 10 kids in a class.
That's so good.
He's made friends already. On Friday, it was a half day. So it was his first week was 3.5 days, right? Tuesday through Friday. I pick him up on Friday afternoon and I'm like, oh, it's a half day. Like, me being my positive self, right? And he's like, I wish it wasn't a half day because I'd like to stay.
Aww.
This is the kid that like had school avoidance last year.
Yeah.
So I was like,
huge.
Should I do a cartwheel? Like, oh my goodness. But for anyone out there whose kiddo isn't glad to be back at school, I just want to share, like, meet your kid where they're at and find what they need.
Yeah.
There's support staff at all schools, and just be open and honest with the staff, because sometimes a little shift, like someone to help them through whatever's going on, helps,
For sure.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about what you're into. I know that I was trained by you in Reiki, and it was such an amazing experience. I'm so grateful for that. But what is it that you're doing these days that you want to share with people?
Well, mainly my main focus right now has been professional development for educators. So for the last year, I've been really focused on that. And I have been speaking at a few different conferences, done a lot of professional developments in the classroom, well, kind of like half-day professional development days, or I've done, like, I just did a kickoff opening day for a collaborative to get them hyped up for the year, getting in a good mindset, all of that. So that's really where my main focus is right now. Is I'll still speak wherever I get hired, but my main focus is professional development for educators on mindfulness and mindset.
That, as a teacher in Boston for 23 years, that is such an important thing at the beginning of the year. So thank you for doing that. Yeah. Teachers work really hard, and things have changed so much in education.
It's tough. It's tough because so many are facing burnout. This is, my program is to prevent burnout. That's the whole main point of it. But I feel, yes, these educators really need support. They need to be seen. They need to, it's tough, as you know. So, yeah.
Yeah. There's just, I know that, towards the end of my teaching career in Boston, the kids come with so much more, especially after COVID. Like, I read some memory pop-ups, and I'm like, I went through that. Like, I forget, right? Because it's like back there. But like reading some of like my journals and my social media posts, I was like, whoa. And what I was thinking about recently was just so much that the kids went through that I saw, because they were in these teeny tiny apartments, right? And the families weren't working. And there was a lot of stress. There was financial change because their families weren't working. And they didn't have like a room for each kid with a laptop, right? Like, all the kids might be in the same room.
It's really tough.
And it was, so the social impact and the mental like trauma. And so then there was like, you just saw it with the behaviors and things. And so in turn, the teachers that work with those kids, right, they are the ones that kids might take it out on. And the kids can't verbalize. They don't even know like why, this stuff going on in their head and how they feel, right? So I hope that there's a lot of school districts that will hire you for that mindfulness and that making sure our teachers don't get burned out.
Right.
All right. So I'm thinking about something we can share with our audience. And I have to be real. Sometimes I'll notice that like my high optimism has like gone down a little bit. And then I have to think, well, what did I stop doing or what's changed?
Mm-hmm.
So recently someone was telling me how much of a difference it makes when you actually write down in a notebook or a journal like the things that you're grateful for. And just last year, I was doing that every single morning, right?
Yeah.
And I got out of the habit.
Yeah.
Like we do that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Why is it
Sure.
when things work, we get out of the habit and we stop doing it?
I think we just get busy and off the schedule, and it's like, oh, I'll get to that later, and then you maybe don't get back to it for sure.
Yeah, because it's just a habit of mind, like,
Mhm.
right? It's
Sure.
training yourself to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So for me, one of the things I've learned about like keeping my happy, right? It's exercise. So coming out of the summer routine and getting back into things that I always do, because, we're going to be outside less as it starts to get colder and it starts to get dark out early. I went to kickboxing last night.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah. What a release it is.
Yeah.
Like it definitely
Great.
helps me. That punching and kicking, like that physical release. I can see why kids do so much better when they're really active and in physical sports or
Yeah.
activities.
That's true. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So do you practice gratitude? Do you have things that you do that kind of keep you at that high level,
I do.
high energy?
Yeah, I do. And just like you, I try to stay in that routine. But it does get, now that we're back in September, as a former teacher, that I always look at September as the beginning of the year, right? Like it's a reset time.
Right.
So I am slowly trying to get back into these habits too, like writing out my gratitude. But I usually do it at night and think about the things I was grateful for the day. But another great tip, and something I have practiced many times but get out of, is setting the intention for the next day. So you start off and you're already expecting a good day. You're starting off with gratitude for what's going to happen the next day and what your intention is. That can be really helpful.
I have not heard of that. What time of day do you do that?
At night before
You do
bed.
it before bed.
Keep a little notebook by your bed. Yeah.
Setting your intention for the next day. I've never heard anyone tell me that. That's
really
cool.
Yeah, that's a good one. And
I like
also
that.
something that you're grateful for that hasn't happened yet. So it could be in the next day, it could be in the next week, something like that. Like you could have written about your son, Anthony, grateful that Anthony loves his new school before he got there, to kind of just put the energy on that intention. That can be helpful too.
Because you're like letting the universe know that this is what's coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk pickleball.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been for a couple of weeks. How's your pickleball going?
Good. It's so good. I love it. It's so much fun. I feel like I'm just not that great. Like I keep trying, and I'm hoping that this 12-week program will get me better, but it's just so much fun. I love it. I'm just afraid because we've always played with clinics and different people that were cool. I'm hoping it stays that way, and I don't get in with anybody who is mad
because
that
you're with a big group instead of a group of like 4 to 6.
Yes.
4 to
Well,
8.
you're playing the game with 4 people always, right? We have a team of 5, and then whoever does the best goes up to the next level. So then we're switching partners and people all the time.
Oh.
But there's a lot of competitive people there, but they're already starting at the high end. So I'm already down at the lower end, but I'm just hoping that I can, stay with some nice people and everyone's cool.
Yeah, but you're jumping into the competitive part of it, like the dupla score.
Yes, all that stuff. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but Glenn's so supportive. I love him, and it's good. So, and
and that's another outlet. Like that's another thing to work through whatever it is we're going through, to find an activity, right? That's physical.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I loved about pickleball was it's the one thing I can do where all the other busy and noise can shut right out because I have to focus on that little green fluorescent ball.
That's it. That's what I always say. That's why I love it so much, because you get out of your head and you're just in your body trying to hit the ball. That's it. I love that's a wonderful benefit of it.
And I think sometimes as women, I know I don't realize, I guess, areas where I'm competitive because I didn't think I was competitive. I felt like I was just competitive with me. I don't compete with other people. I would just compete with myself to make myself better and be successful. But when it comes to something like putting yourself out there to a new like sport, like pickleball, and then there's all these people that have been playing longer than us, right? Yeah. You do sometimes when you get into a group that you don't know or you're with other people, like it's that feeling of not being enough. Like, am I, am I gonna be able to do this? When, I don't know about you, but for me, I joined it to be like running around and active and for social.
Yeah, totally.
Not to like whoop anyone's butt.
Right. Yeah, me too. I don't have that competitive gene. I never had it. I've always been, but I was thinking today, maybe I should try to get a little more, like try to be more instead of just, maybe I need that. Just a little edge, a little bit to think about, okay, let's win this, or instead of being like, it's okay. But yeah, I agree with that.
Like pushing yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great way to meet people. I mean, I love the people there. Everybody's great. It's been fun. And that's the thing that's also great. Like you mentioned, the social part. It's just great to meet new people and do that too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Talk to me about what else is going on. You do Reiki sessions?
Yeah, I do. I still do that. I mean, I always have so today I have clients and I opened this day because if I have 1 or 2 clients, I'll open the day and see more because my schedule's so flexible. But today, and it's not, and then someone else reached out. I have 2 other people coming this week on different days and times, but it's sort of like not, I advertise occasionally and I put it out there sometimes and I have longtime regular clients, but I haven't been building it to really create a big, I don't really just have that I don't have enough time or to do that. So but still something I would never give up and I love dearly, but it's not something that I focus on as much.
Are there other healing sessions you do, or it's mainly the Reiki?
It's mainly the Reiki. And I do a program, I haven't done this much either, but it's called Prepare for Surgery, Heal Faster. That's another program I offer for people going into surgery. That's very effective. I do that a lot of times just on the phone with people too. And that's been very helpful.
Is that to help alleviate like the stress and anxiety you have going into it?
Yes.
What a great idea.
Really good for the anxiety.
What a great idea.
Really good, yeah.
I love that.
And all the hospitals in Boston are aware of the program, so they know what you give the anesthesiologist statements to say. You can give the doctor statements to say during your surgery. It's really effective and it's really helpful. And I just had a surgery in March at Newton Wellesley, but they were very familiar with the program. They said all the statements, it was really great. So
that is so neat. I love that.
Yeah.
And you got everybody on board.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's good. So I'm just getting out there, and now that my schedule has shifted from summer to now, I'm going to be doing more Joy with Julie clients.
Good.
So some of them will include Reiki if that's what works for the person.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. It's action coaching. So it's helping people to live a life of joy.
Yeah.
And the joy stands for joy, optimism, and you.
Good.
Yeah.
That's
so
really
living
nice.
Your life without fear. The other day I actually called into the radio.
Which radio?
It was 105.1.
Okay.
They were talking about, so Maddie and Heather were on air, and Maddie was talking about how his wife, they were out hanging out and having fun. And then his wife called it a date and was calling it date night. And that instantly made it no longer fun for him. And so they were talking about it. And the co-host, Heather, was talking about how, like, she had this idea about how, like, oh, well, you don't like to be doing what everyone else is doing, and you don't like to be the same and regimented. And people that are intuitive, like I'm driving and I'm like, no. Like he had trauma on a date. Like, I'm like, no. So I never call into radio stations, but I called in and they picked up and it went on air.
What did you say?
So like, I did my Joy with Julie stuff. Like I just did what I intuitively know. Like, so his co-host was riding him and like telling him all this stuff. But like, no, if he's out having fun with his wife, and he doesn't want it to be called date night, it's because there was a date somewhere that went wrong. So I helped him tap into it, like on the phone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was like, I think there's trauma there. And the co-host, a lot of people think that trauma is like something like horrific.
Right.
Like you were robbed at gunpoint.
Right.
Like something really, really traumatic. But trauma can be something that makes you feel bad inside. Yeah. Right?
Absolutely.
Something that happens that you're embarrassed about, something that you have shame. It isn't always that your house burned down.
Right. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here I am, and I'm like, he's like, wait a minute, you might be onto something. And so then the co-host like stops like saying it can't possibly be that. And he tells us about the time that he was at a restaurant in Boston Sansi or something, and he lit something on fire and it singed the girlfriend's like hair. He's like, it was my first date and my last date with her. But like we tapped into it.
Yeah, that's funny.
So Joy with Julie sessions are that. Like someone comes to me and two of my first clients, it was about loss. So it was helping them through that. Mm-hmm. And then I've had other people that they just know they're not happy, mm-hmm. but they need to get to the root of it, right? Or some things like they want to leave their job or they want to leave a relationship or they know that there's a transition coming, mm-hmm. but they don't know what's keeping them stuck to not like make a leap of faith or make a jump, mm-hmm. right? So they're living in fear. So it's getting to the root of it one little thing at a time. Mm-hmm. So like in a session, it's talking with a person and it usually takes me like less than 5 minutes to just listen to them and go, okay, how about this? And we talk about something. I share an activity. My teacher person definitely comes out and we work through like some heavy things,
mm-hmm. That's great. Yeah.
And then if they need to, we get on the Reiki table.
That's great. That's really good.
Yeah. It's just interesting. I guess through experiences I've had in life, it's important to think about the narrative that's in your mind. Mm-hmm. And if it's not working for you, how can you shift it? Like, how can you flip it? Or how can you look at things through a different lens?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's kind of hard for people to recognize. Like, a lot of my clients that I deal with online or that I don't, don't know super well, or they have the same situation over and over because they're living in the same identity. If you have an identity of someone who doesn't have any money or someone who gets in trouble at work or someone who you keep doing that same identity, so you're going to keep finding the same exact thing. I had one client I'll never forget. She is really hard worker, excellent at her job, and she was getting burnt out. She's been burnt out at 2 different jobs. So she finds this new job and she's like, this is the greatest. It's right near my house. I'm going to have work-life balance. It's going to be the best. Now she's like 4 months into the job. It's already like she's doing the job of 3 people. It's the same. And I keep saying like, didn't you draw a boundary with them? Didn't you let them so it's that's her identity isn't burnt out.
She's not seeing her blind spot.
No, she can't see it. And
interesting.
It's so interesting because I think to myself when I'm seeing everyone else's blind spot, can't I find someone that can see mine?
Right.
But it's the same. If you think about yourself, how you end up in the same situation over and over, that is because of the identity that you believe yourself to be. That's the hard thing that we have to change. Like if you're coming from a place of, oh, I never get what I need, or I can never get enough money, you'll continue that because that's the identity you are putting out there. And it's hard to shift that until you see it, and then you can.
So I did some really cool training that started last November. It was 3 different trainings. 1 was in person and 2 were online. And the very first one was like reconciling with your past. And it's exactly what you're saying. Like it helped me see something that I just didn't know mm-hmm. about me.
That's good.
Like something that's like programmed in me from like really early childhood.
Yeah.
And then behavioral patterns that come because of what was put in my subconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. What was that called?
So it was the Landmark program.
Oh yeah, I know Landmark.
Yeah. Did
okay.
You do it?
Of course I've done it. Yeah, I've done everything. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was, it's interesting. It was 3 13-hour days that I went.
Yeah.
And the first day was on a Friday. And I didn't speak. I didn't go up to the microphone. There were people sharing.
That was in person.
It was in person, in New Jersey. And by Saturday night, so it's now 26 hours of this, I still didn't get up and say anything. And that's like not me. Usually I'm participating. I guess the way I was participating was listening and taking notes and trying to like understand all the concepts. But I had to take a session with like the head coach. Like I wanted the best of the best, which was Erin, the person that was doing the whole like weekend.
The trainer,
Yeah. And so I waited in line. There was like a security guard that wanted to put me out of line because it was late, but thank goodness Erin took me. She chatted with me for like 15 minutes and she got to like some of my deep root things.
That's great.
It was so helpful.
Right.
But it took someone that had training to know about that kind of stuff to undo your identity.
Yeah.
Like that you're falling into.
Yeah.
The behavioral patterns, the things that you just always do.
Right.
That you're not even aware of. You don't even know of the self-talk sometimes that's in there.
Right. And your story. Your story is so concrete.
What your narrative is.
Yeah. That has to be looked at and changed, you know. There's a lot of the work that I follow, and I don't think in the forum they talked about so much about changing the story, but a lot of the other work that I've done talks about like writing a new story. This is my story now. That's not true anymore.
Right.
But it's interesting how one thing can really shift you. You know, like say my example of myself is I had a guy, this guy that I really liked, and I felt rejected by him, and it just kind of really colored like it was hard for me to get past that someone else would like me or somebody else would, because I felt so rejected for so long. And I was at that age, it was hard to, you know, have anybody, no matter what anyone said, I just felt that. And that's what I kind of kept playing out until I finally saw like, oh yeah, no, it's hard, because it can even be a look from a teacher or a parent or something minor that you would have no idea about.
Wow.
That can affect you.
I haven't thought about that, but once you said it could be a look, it made me think of women and how women give you the once over, and like their eyes will go to a spot, whether it's your roots that are about to get touched up, or like if they think that there's something up with your outfit, you know what I mean? There's those women, right, that are insecure and that just do that, and they like stop at a certain something, you know? Wow. So even something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. I mean, there's so many things that we can take in from that. Like, because if your teacher gives you a look, or it could be like you feel shame, and then you're shamed by that. What and was it? You know,
feelings that you associate with that experience.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is not easy to be a human being walking this planet. It really isn't.
These days for sure. I don't know. I feel like it's way different than when I was growing up in the 80s.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So that makes me think of Professor Greenwald at Bridgewater State University.
Herbie Greenwald.
Yes.
Yep. Oh, I know him. Yeah.
Psychopersonality was my favorite course with him.
Yeah.
And how he said that you need 10 positives to counterbalance one negative.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
So if someone does something like that look, right?
Yeah.
Or to you, or like makes you feel like you're not in a good mood when you were in a good mood, you need 10 other positive things to make that like bad mood or that feeling of shame or whatever go away.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Like that's a lot.
That is a lot.
That just kind of proves to the point that to be an optimist, you work at being an optimist like it's a lifestyle, right? Because it's actually much easier to be a pessimist or to be negative.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And here's the thing, and you'll agree to this, I am sure too, is that you will always get what you believe. So your brain is looking for that. If you believe something's going to be bad and you're not going to get what you want and everybody doesn't like you and all that, that is what your brain will look for over and over. So, you know.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Wow. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to have you on again because we could talk forever.
Yeah.
That was so good. I just want to remind our listeners that, as Joanne said, it can be hard to be a human these days, right? So take care of yourself, fill your cup, do the things that bring you joy, be with the people that are uplifting, and, you know, sometimes a random act of kindness will even make you feel better.
For sure, because you don't know what other people are struggling with, so that can just lift someone's day.
Right. Yeah. Okay, thank you for tuning in for Joy with Julie. Joanne Young, thank you for coming. You're awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.